championship so close you can taste it.
Oliver Askew has won the Freedom 100.
Side by side. And your new champion, Christian Rasmussen. Engines have been fired down on pit lane. 250 horsepower behind these drivers. Everyone on the Cooper tires and the Titus PM18 chassis. Fantastic race car and just an excellent platform for these young drivers. 17 drivers on the field. Let's go to the front row. I don't have the number right now, but we got to have it somewhere around, it's double digits for sure, the combined amount of wins for these two drivers here in USF 2000, probably approaching something like 15 or 16 race wins. Hunter McElroy on the outside was the runner-up in the USF 2000 championship back in 2019. McElroy out of Australia in the number 18 machine for Pabst Racing. He's looking for a race win. He capped the season off last year, the final winner at St. Petersburg. He's looking to pick up where he left off. He'll start on the outside of row number 1. And again, a minor issue yesterday where he had wing damage after a pass over in turn number 13, kind of hindered him a little bit. We talk about the fact that these drivers deal with a lot of aero wash. When you're in behind a driver, you lose that air off the front wing, so a lot of mid-corner understeer. Well, when you have the wing damage like he had, it only added on to the problems. McElroy was able to hold on to a 7th place finish. He'll look to see if he can't go P1 today. But the driver out front, his first ever pole position in Indy Pro 2000 competition, and he comes in with a head of steam. Last year's USF 2000 champion, this guy knows how to win races. He knows how to start from pole position. Christian Rasmussen out of Denmark, running with J. Howard Driver Development, a 1:16.527 in qualifying. Will put that rookie driver, ran the number 1, running in the Road to Indy Scholarship colors on the inside of the front row. He will set the pace for the drivers when they come out of turn number 17 and get into that long punch-off zone here. We have about a 500-foot start zone for the drivers. They have to wait for that first RTI post when they come on the front straightaway. At that point, it's in Rasmussen's hands. He can punch off anytime he wants. Everybody else has to wait. That's the benefit of starting on the pole. And I would say this, if Rasmussen can get through turn 1, 2, and 3 cleanly, and maybe down to 5 without the big challenge, it may be tough to beat him. He had the fast lap of the race yesterday, had a puncture with contact, and had to come into pit lane, so that hindered him a little bit. Didn't have the result that he wanted, but I'll tell you, starting on the pole position, what great retribution would be to be able to come back and get the job done here today in round number 2. We're just getting the season underway. Of course, all these drivers will be heading to St. Petersburg next weekend as we go street course racing in Florida. And again, ready to go here. Rasmussen and McElroy will be on the front row. Gold and Eves on row number 2. Prokachik and Petrov row 3. Drivers now working their way out of turn number 17. Looking good so far. Little stragglers coming up late, getting himself into position. Rasmussen looking to see if he can't go green. Into the punch-off zone. There's the post to the driver's left, and we're underway. Early punch. Green, green, green. Eves thinking about the inside of McElroy, coming down into the corner, but otherwise people drive it up pretty cleanly now. One driver goes off. That might have been Anam Ahmed, a little overcooking it into 1, pushed wide up the exit. Everyone through 1, 2, and now 3 cleanly thus far. Here comes the big run down the straightaway. Good start here for Rasmussen. Exactly what I said. If he's able to get that lead, he's going to be able to go up front. Big move to the inside. I believe that's Artem Petrov to the inside of Braden Eves. So Petrov goes by as his teammate into turn number 5. Petrov to the inside. Book it. Taking the spot away. Out of 6 and 7, the kink on the straightaway to this 8-9 combination. It's this downhill, over the curb, right hand, trying to get the car rotated. Single file. Good opening lap thus far for Indy Pro 2000 and Christian Rasmussen. Dominant driver last year in USF 2000. Out to the early lead. This event, a 30-lap race with a 50-minute time limit. Indy Pro 2000 going green to checker yesterday. See if they do it again here today. Battles further back coming through turns number 14 and 15 now. You see the two exclusive Autosport drivers. Actually, that's now Jacob Abel in the 51, right behind Braden Eves. Eves was the race winner yesterday, currently runs P4. Right behind him, Jacob Abel. And an interesting thing about both those drivers, for a time, Braden Eves does a lot of karting, as does Jacob Abel, but there's been many times last year before his incident that Jacob Abel was actually the mechanic for Braden Eves when they were doing national karting. So the two drivers now run on the racetrack together. Good start for Jacob Abel as well. Had some issues yesterday, but to be able to jump up here to the top 5, excellent run for the Abel Motorsports pilot. Good to have him back with us for the season. Wow, some good racing as you see the drivers come out of the corner. Yeah, it's Abel still putting the pressure there. Rasmussen in the lead the first time by was 0.6 of a second. McElroy looks for a recovery here too for P2. Petrov up into third over Eves. Again, Petrov was second in race number 1. Parker Thompson and I talked a bit about it in the pre-show. Number 1, you want to go out and win the race. You want to beat all the other competitors. After that, you really want to beat the guys that are under the tent with you. You want to be the top driver of your team. We got a good battle a little bit further back. Yeah, excellent fight deeper in the field. Number 77 of Anam Ahmed able to get back by, I believe, Hunter Yaney. Had a look to see if he could get through Kiffin Simpson. Reese Gold, tough start for Reese. Started in the 4th position. He's fallen all the way back into 14th. So not the start that Reese Gold wanted. Through Charlotte's Web, turn number 5, and then the exit of 6. One of the things about these second races of the doubleheader, you wonder where everybody is on tire strategy as well, because drivers come in with 5 sessions, practice, 2 qualifying sessions, and the 2 races with only 3 sets of tires. We didn't have a carryover set of tires this weekend, which we normally have. They're allowed to have a set of race tires, used race tires that they normally run in practice. Because it was the opening round of the season, they didn't have a carryover set to use. So interesting that some drivers may be holding back tires. Everybody essentially starting this race off on used tires, at least a set that they would have run a qualifying run on. So we may watch what's going to happen here. This track has been repaved. It is it's very smooth, but still pretty rough on tires. We're talking running in the clockwise direction, a lot of constant radius, long radius right-handers. It really punishes the left front tire. There's Flynn Lazier in the Legacy Autosport number 20 machine. Flynn currently running in that 17th position. Good to have Flynn here on the program. Hunter McElroy has closed up. This thing is not over at all. We're not going to see a runaway here for Christian Rasmussen. Second-year driver Hunter McElroy starting to put the pressure as they come out of turn number 7. They'll work their way down that straightaway over to turn 8 and 9. That's how close the leaders are right there. And I think Artem Petrov closing up as well. Braden Eves actually with the fast lap of the race. 118.592. He was 0.2 quicker than the leader last time by, and he's only 1.1 back. Jacob Abel's not that far back either. This is solid stuff, because I think we are setting up for a battle. Now, Hunter McElroy right there with them. The only issue about hounding a driver that close for the first half of the race without being able to make the pass is that when you are that close, that's when you get the aero wash. That's when you start really punishing your front tires, especially that left front. You've got to kind of peek out. Parker's talked about this a couple times. You've got to peek out a little bit in some of these corners to try to get a little bit of that clean air coming up over top of the wing to get as much downforce as you possibly can. Otherwise, every time you're in there, as you start to turn into the corner, that car's going to wash out on you. You get that understeer, and the car just pushes away, and then you're sliding the tires. When you're sliding the tires, you're punishing the tires. McElroy trying to get close enough to potentially make that lunge down to the inside of turn 5 right there as they come out of Charlotte's Web. Top 4 drivers all now separated by just about a second. It's a decent gap back to Jacob Abel. That's the next group. So it's Jacob Abel, Wyatt Prokacek, and Colin Kaminski. That's the next group. Abel in the red 51, Prokacek in the black, blue, and white number 5 for Jay Howard, and Colin Kaminski in the black and white for Pabst Racing. Pabst with 2 drivers right now in the top 7. McElroy runs P2, Kaminski P7. They were rookies in the series last year, Pabst Racing, the first time jumping up into the Indy Pro 2000 category. Long-time front runners in USF 2000, multi-time team championship winners, and of course, as we know, had some success over the last couple days in USF 2000. A win in the opening round with Yuvan Sundaramurthy and a couple of podiums for Josh Pearson as well. There's the gap there between fourth back to fifth. Eves all the way back to Jacob Abel. As they run on the racetrack right now, Braden Eves would maintain the point lead over his teammate by 4. 51 points as they run for Eves, 47 for Artem Petrov, 42 for Rasmussen, and 40 for McElroy. Cameron Shields not having the run that he had yesterday. He's actually down now in the 16th position. The Australian started in 13th and has fallen a couple of spots. Let's see what happens if he's able to gather things back up again. Rasmussen just set fast lap, and there's a bonus point involved in that as well. Early pressure from McElroy has now dissipated a little bit. Half a second or more for Rasmussen up front. There's the lead coming over the rise of 13 over to 14. A pronounced rise in the road as you come through 12 and 13. Oh, someone dropping a wheel further back. I want to say that might have been Enzo Fittipaldi. Either Enzo Fittipaldi or Reese Gold dropping a wheel there coming out of 13 over the rumbles. Car gets light coming over the hill, and that's not where you want to lose grip. Indeed, Christian Rasmussen just laid the fast lap down in the lap by that last lap, 117.411. Rasmussen doing exactly what he did last year. And this is one of the things I was asked a couple of questions while we were here trackside start of the day. What do you think? What's going to happen with Rasmussen starting from pole? Does he have what it takes to win races here? And I said this. I said, the one thing about Christian is he knows how to lead from pole. It's not like he's never been there before. It's not like this is a fresh experience. This guy won a lot of races last year in USF 2000, many of them from pole position. And when you can do that, when you understand how to manage that opening lap and take care of the tires, because really, when it gets close, the only driver who has open track and all that clean air rolling over the wings to take care of the tires is that leader. So the leader has to take full advantage of that, and that's what Rasmussen is doing. He's not running defensive lines. Even when McElroy got close, he didn't run too defensively. Front four drivers pretty evenly split now. Wyatt Prokacek. What a run for Wyatt. Jay Howard driver development. First and sixth on the racetrack right now. Solid running. Just have a quick look at yesterday's results, and really the big mover yesterday was Anam Ahmed. Started 13th, drove his way up into the top 5. Now there were some issues that dropped other drivers out of the pace, but Anam did a tremendous job working his way forward. His fast lap only about less than, I think, 0.3 of a second off that of Braden Eves. So for a team that has returned after missing last year, RP Motorsport USA, a driver who has never been here and run here in the U.S. and did limited testing on the program, I got to say, pretty darn good run yesterday for Anam Ahmed. And again, he is working his way forward. Started today in the 12th position. Anam trying to get himself forward here. Had a couple of spots, but now in 11th. But where he is on points right now would put him, I believe, just outside the top 5. Maybe 6th or 7th in points, which I think, considering the way the weekend started, pretty solid. There's Colin Kaminski. As we're coming to the first third of the race, Kaminski running now in the 7th position. Not that far behind Wyatt Prokacek, but Kaminski a little wide on the exit of 1. Kicking up some dust at the end of the runoff area. Colin Kaminski in the Slick Locks PM18 for Pabst Racing. Worked his way through USF 2000 into Indy Pro. Had a really strong finish to the season. Was really good at New Jersey Motorsports Park. Coming through 8 and 9. There's the gap between the top 4 drivers. Pretty evenly spaced. Then we got 5th, 6th, and 7th running together. Jacob Abel, Wyatt Prokacek, and Colin Kaminski. Then look at this gaggle further back. everybody lined up behind James Rowe. Rowe about a second behind Manuel Suleiman. So the turn 3 motorsport driver, James Rowe, the Irishman, in the number 3, stacking him up behind him. Kiffin Simpson runs 10th. Anam Ahmed in 11th. Hunter Yaney in 12th. 13th, Enzo Fittipaldi. 14th, Reese Gold. 15th, Jack William Miller. That's that group there. Then only about a second back is Cameron Shields. 1.2 seconds now, the advantage for Christian Rasmussen. Oh, we got some moves there. I think they were able to get by Rowe. Bit of a shake-up there. And again, battling it out. 2, 3 wide, coming down now into turn number 1 and 2. Wow, action going. Little mid-corner wiggle there as well for Cameron Shields, but he's trying to fight his way back up. He is right behind Jack William Miller. Shields taking care of those tires, trying to work his way back forward. And I'll tell you, the fight further on back is a good one. I believe Rowe still with the position. I said it was James Rowe that potentially fell back. It was not. It was actually Kiffin Simpson. Kiffin moving back a little bit. .5 seconds the lead for Christian Rasmussen. And again, so yesterday, the race winner, 2019 USF 2000 champion Braden Eves, leader right now, 2020 champion Christian Rasmussen. And again, for me, that just exemplifies the training that we provide here on the road to Indy. You're able to get the job done. If you're successful in USF 2000, we've set you up to succeed in the next level, Indy Pro. And we've seen that happen as well with drivers moving up from Indy Pro 2000 to Indy Lights. You go back a couple of years ago to 2019, and who were the 2 dominant drivers in Indy Lights in 2019? Oliver Askew and Rinus VeeKay. Oliver won the championship in USF 2000 in 2017, and then Rinus VeeKay won Indy Pro 2000 in 2018. They both come and essentially grabbed the majority of the victories in 2019. It's all about developing the drivers in the car and out of the car, and it's just it's tremendous to watch what these young drivers are able to do. And again, then when we see them move to the NTT IndyCar Series and succeed, I think we all share some pride here on the road to Indy. Yesterday, for sure, Pato O'Ward, a driver who won almost won the championship in Indy Pro 2000 a couple of years ago, was able to win the title in Indy Lights. This is one of our kids. This is one of our graduates. And to see him on the pole position for today's IndyCar Series race, we're all going to be hoping and that we see some success and a race win at a Pato O'Ward. That first victory for Pato just around the corner. Could be today. Rasmussen, McElray, Petrov, Eves, and Abel. Top 5 drivers. Makachik runs 6th, Kaminski 7th, Suleiman 8th, Rowe 9th, Anam Ahmed now up into the 10th spot. Continues to improve his point total. Yeah, as he runs on the racetrack right now, I think that Ahmed would be tied for 7th place in points with Colin Kaminski. He's been able to work his way forward. We're not done yet. Anam Ahmed in the number 77, now going to work on James Rowe in that number 3. Looking at lap times, Rasmussen using clean air, getting down to a 1:16.842, a half a second faster than McElray on that last lap. We're not even to the halfway point yet. Number 21, Kiffin Simpson having some issues. I think he may have been into pit lane and back out because Rasmussen just went by him to put him down another lap. Kiffin went 1 lap down yesterday as well, but got back out on the racetrack and was able to slot right into the middle of, I believe, Anam Ahmed and Hunter McElray. Showed good speed there. Just some issues here today for the rookie Simpson. The closest racing, of course, further back. And I'm Ahmed now. Ahmed in the number 77 RP Motorsports machine continues to put the pressure here on James Rowe, who runs 9th. See what happens as these drivers settle in for this mid-section. James Rowe driving the Trintec TopCon machine. A couple of sponsors and partners that he's thrilled to have on board and really wanted to put in a good effort for them yesterday. And he had the speed, and I think for Rowe, it'll be his first season here in Indy Pro 2000. I think he's going to be racing for top fives and maybe podiums by the end of this year. It's a single car team with Turn 3 Motorsport, but we know what they were able to do last year. Right now, trying to hold off Ahmed. Rowe actually 3/10 quicker than Manuel Suleiman last time by. Time starting to come down a little bit. Number of drivers going green with their quickest laps of the session. Artem Petrov, Manuel Suleiman, Hunter Yaney, and Flynn Lazier all turning their fastest laps of the race thus far. As we know, fuel loads getting a little bit lower. Ahmed locking it up, going down into 5. You saw that there. Coming around to the halfway point of a 30-lap race for Indy Pro 2000. Here's the Barber Vintage Museum. A must stop if you're here for the race weekend. Think about the drivers running in this program and what they're gunning for, because obviously huge. Championship scholarship for 2021 increased to $718,000 to move into the Indy Lights presented by Cooper Tires program, and an NTT IndyCar test at the end of the season. Top 3 drivers in Indy Lights are getting that test as well, but the champion in Indy Pro 2000, it's a little early, but they're going to get a chance to test an IndyCar at the end of this year, which is absolutely huge. .9 seconds the lead for Christian Rasmussen. Barber Motorsports Park, notorious as being a tough track to pass on, and for the cars here in Indy Pro 2000, very difficult. You really have to essentially get close enough to the driver in front to put the pressure on to kind of force a mistake, because with these long corners, as I had detailed earlier, a lot of aero wash. When you get that aero wash, you start roughing up the front tires. You'll see drivers, especially coming up through here, turns 15 and 16, maybe trying different angles, diamond the corner a little bit, get that air over the front wing and see if you can't get a better run out to 16 down to 17. That's Jacob Abel still holding off Wyatt Prokachik. And that was James Rowe in front of Anam Ahmed and Enzo Fittipaldi. Great shot of the drivers coming on the downhill, turn 5, left-hand hairpin through turn number 6 and back up the hill. Long run down into turn number 8 and 9. Braden Eves not yet done with Artem Petrov, still within that second. But you look at lap times, and most of the guys up here have kind of stalled where they are. Rasmussen really impressive, 1:16.84 his fast lap. Last lap, 1:16.843. Literally a thousandth of a second slower. The consistency for Rasmussen up front, trying to get that first win. And I have no doubt that the race fans are watching the broadcast here on the Road to Indy TV app or IndyPro2000.com or RoadToIndy.tv. They're cheering on their Danish countrymen. Rasmussen doing so well last year, bringing Denmark their first Road to Indy championship and be the first Indy Pro 2000 victory if he's able to bring it home. First win by a scholarship driver here in 2021 as well. Coming out of the gate, I think, obviously, when you're thinking championship, when you're talking about predictions coming into the opening weekend, you look at the returning drivers who have won races: McElroy, Petrov, Eves, all those drivers, and Suleiman as well, of course. All those drivers now second, third, and fourth. McElroy, Petrov, Eves, Suleiman eighth. You got to look at the big guns coming up from the next level, because especially when they had the success like Rasmussen did. It wasn't like he got a 1 or 2 wins and was able to do a consistent job to get himself into the championship. He really was the dominant factor last year. I think he won the first 6 or 7 races to start the season. Did have a dip at Indianapolis and Mid-Ohio. Rough weekend in Indianapolis. Drove off at the carousel the first lap in Mid-Ohio, and that huge lead shrunk down to about 3 points. But he was able to show his mettle and turn it back around and get back on a run to win the championship and lock it up at New Jersey Motorsports Park. But for him to be able to come out of the gate like he is right now, and again, remember, Jay Howard Driver Development expanding into Indy Pro 2000 this year with their champion and with Prokachek. I think they've shown very well here today. Rasmussen, no doubt, putting his name into the championship fight. As they run on the racetrack, he would be third in points. As they run here, just past the halfway point, Eves, running fourth, would have the point lead over his teammate Petrov by 4 markers. And then you got to go 9 back to Rasmussen with 42 points, 11 back to McElroy with 40. And then then we've still got Reese Gold with 30, and then a couple drivers with 28, Colin Kaminski and Anam Ahmed. That's that fight we're watching there for 5th, 6th, and 7th. 12 laps remaining. Jacob Abel holding the spot. Probably the best we've seen Jacob Abel run in his Road to Indy career. Good opportunity to chat with him as we kind of key on him here. I had a good chance to chat with him earlier this weekend and talking to Jacob about his team. The interesting deal is that as those of you who watched Indy Lights before, you remember Bilardi Auto Racing. Obviously, that team shutting down over the offseason. Tim Neff and TJ Speed buying that inventory, essentially taking over the operation and moving forward with what they'll do in 2022. Many of the staff from Bilardi Auto Racing were then picked up by Abel Motorsports to run in Indy Pro 2000. John Bruner, the team manager, longtime team manager at Bilardi Auto Racing, taking over the team manager role at Abel Motorsports. Kent Boyer, head engineer with Bilardi Auto Racing, coming over to engineer the car here, this PM18. So many new things. Boyer learning the new car. And as Jacob told me when we were talking, he's learning a whole brand new crew. And I think anybody in motorsports understands that communication between the engineer and the driver and the entire team, that's a really crucial part of success. And for him to come into this new season with brand new surroundings, all new people around him, it's going to take a little time for them to develop that line of communication, that vocabulary that'll allow them to understand each other. And I think to be able to run P5 here right now, this would be a huge success for Jacob Abel, and he's been able to run strong and hold off Wyatt Prokachek. Still about a 7/10 of a second advantage. That's the cushion. Good battle coming right now through turn number 1. You see it coming there. Back up the hill. I think that's Kaminski, Suleiman, and Ahmed. Actually, that battle there was, pardon me, let's update it. That was Yaney and Reese Gold and Jack William Miller. Hunter Yaney in the Velocity Racing Development Machine. That's the driver we were following there. You'll see them coming up here now. Boom. Running past you. Right behind them, Cameron Shields. So that trio of drivers running 12th, 13th, and 14th. Hunter Yaney, rookie driver here in the Indy Pro 2000 category. Great to have Velocity Racing Development joining the Road to Indy here in 2021. They have one driver in Indy Pro 2000 in Yaney and one driver in USF 2000 in Eric Evans. Looking forward to seeing them expand their program here with the Road to Indy presented by Cooper Tires. Expect to see at least 2 drivers on each level of that program next year. Dan Mitchell runs a great program. strong VRD academy. He's got a lot of great ties with drivers in the American karting scene. A full-length development program from karting all the way through the road to Indy. That's them again, rolling down through the Alabama roller coaster. You can see that Reese Gold trying to keep up the pressure. Started fourth, fell back early. Race winner last year at Mid-Ohio in USF 2000. Ran with Cape Motorsports. 6 seconds the lead now for Christian Rasmussen out front. He's got 10 laps remaining to try to be yet another race winner. So here's an interesting component and a storyline for this weekend. 6 different pole sitters across our 6 qualifying sessions. So far, we have as well 4 winners. Could we have 6 different winners? That would be very interesting. Obviously, wins yesterday in USF 2000 for Yuvan Sundaramurthy and Prescott Campbell. We had Linus Lundqvist win in Indy Lights. Braden Eves win in Indy Pro 2000. Right now, we're on the cusp of seeing Christian Rasmussen being our 5th different winner on the weekend to split up Indy Pro 2000. And we'll see what happens in Indy Lights this afternoon when David Malukas will start on the pole position for HMD Motorsports. You know, David, after the incident between he and Kyle Kirkwood at the start of the race for Indy Lights, you know that Malukas will be extra motivated to try to get that first career Indy Lights victory. Rasmussen pulling out that lead of about 6 seconds, but he's backed things down to a nice 1:17.3 pace, about 7 or 8 tenths of a second off his fast lap. But he's got that gap. Now you can kind of just manage it a little bit, take care of the tires a little more. Got that clean air. Makare as well, looking to try to get to the podium after yesterday's disappointment. He's got 3 seconds on Artem Petrov, who's got a second and a bit on his teammate Braden Eves. Still, Eves running where he is. After that win yesterday, you had to believe in the back of his mind, he was saying, I just want to get through the opening lap cleanly. If I slot into 4th, I can go to work. But, man, points is what I need. The win was a great start. Points here is strong and good opportunity for him to get out of this race with the point lead. Now, he is, however, closing back up. Remember, I said it was 1.3 seconds. As I look back up, it was 4/10 at the line. And it's really 5 car lengths coming out of turn number 7. So Braden Eves closing back up on Artem Petrov. And when it's your teammate, really, pressure, see if you can't force a mistake. I don't see Eves, a veteran driver here on the road to Indy, making any kind of low percentage opportunity move. I just don't think he's going to do it, especially knowing he has the point lead. Championships aren't won normally on a mid-race, high-risk, low percentage pass. I really think it's more of a deal where you're trying to get a consistent set of results, a body of work throughout the entire season. It's the DNF that hurts every one of these drivers. You know, essentially a DNF yesterday for Christian Rasmussen with the issue he had. He was a lap back after the incident, ends up finishing 13th. Not a lot of points, ends up leaving with 9 points, whereas Eves with 32 points as the race winner. If you're smart and you have that run of 3rd place finishes, you're probably going to win the championship, even though you weren't able to get a victory. Inam Ahmed and Enzo Fittipaldi were able to get by James Rowe mid-race. Leaders coming out of turn number 7. You see the 2 exclusive Autosport cars there streaming by. Next drivers you're going to see is that trio. There's the 2 exclusive Autosport drivers, super quick. Looking back at lap times, last time by, both Petrov and Eves almost identical, 1:17.2s. Eves literally 100th of a second slower, but the gap just a half a second now between those 2 exclusive Autosport drivers running 3rd and 4th. They locked out the front row in qualifying for round number 1 and went 1-2 in the race, 3-4 in race number 2, and I got to think that the team at exclusive will be happy with that. Potentially able to leave this event run a 1-2 in the championship. Something happened there for Rasmussen, folks. He did a bad lap the last lap. The gap now down to a second. Not sure what happened to Rasmussen. I did not see it, but all of a sudden McElroy is a lot closer, up to a second now. Indeed, an issue for Rasmussen. He got back down to a 1:16.6, or rather a 1:17.3, 16.6 his fast lap. Got back to a 1:17.3, so able to get back to the pace again. But that last lap was a 1:25, 8 seconds. So that big lead that he had shrinking down after an issue. So what happened to Rasmussen? Trying to watch the monitor here, of course, to call off the TV, but you're also trying to watch live timing. Again, drivers exiting out of turn number 9 through this quick 10 and 11 complex. And that was that changed the landscape for sure. We'll have to talk to Christian Rasmussen when it's all said and done. See if he's able to stretch that gap back out. Again, I think he does. Let's see the lap back down to a 1:17.3. Again, 7/10 quicker than McElroy. Still really good laps. This time a 17 flat for Rasmussen, 17.3 for McElroy. So stretches it back out to 1.4 seconds. But I got to tell you, whatever happened on the racetrack, you know it was a wake-up call. Rasmussen again using that clean air. They've got things knocked down. He was fast lap of the race yesterday, even though he finished a lap down. Rasmussen with the quickest lap. And that was on lap 22 of a 25 lapper. So late in the run, he was able to go quicker. 5 laps to go here for Indy Pro 2000. We'll wrap up the Road to Indy, presented by Cooper Tires segment of this weekend's events later on today. 12:20, green flag for the Indy Lights Grand Prix of Alabama, presented by Cooper Tires. We'll see the top rung back at it again. Kiffin Simpson just laying down a good lap. Again, an issue for Kiffin, a 1:17.263. Actually, no. Last lap before that, a 1:16.9. So Kiffin Simpson, rookie for Juncos Racing, has the speed, had an issue and went down a lap, or a couple laps actually. Whew, impressive. Definitely a driver we're going to watch to potentially go for the championship next year here in Indy Pro. He's doing, I think, 5 races this year for Kiffin Simpson. Remember that name. Starring out of the gate already. So whatever it was, a little scare for Christian Rasmussen, but as of now, he's been able to get back and no issues. Rasmussen, McElroy, Petrov, Eves, and Abel. So getting an update now here from race control. Essentially what happened with Christian Rasmussen there, we got 3 laps left, but let's update you on Rasmussen. A mid-race penalty on Christian Rasmussen for moving in reaction. So I'm assuming that he moved for a block in reaction to a move from Hunter McElroy. 5-second mid-race penalty, so he literally had to slow down 5 seconds and give back that advantage. So that's what that was. We'll get more updates later on But, yeah, mid-race penalty for Rasmussen. So it wasn't an issue, did not make a mistake, but he did slow down. And it was, to be honest, 8 seconds slower that lap was, but then able to stretch back out to a 3.1 second lead. So, again, moving in reaction. And that was the penalty. Hold on, I'm trying to get an update from race control. Getting an update, the potential that may be a post-race penalty not served in the race. This could be interesting here. Trying to get the update for you. Laps winding down. The reason why I say that is right now Rasmussen just 3.8. So indeed, it sounds like there's going to be a 5-second penalty on Christian Rasmussen. He's only 3.8 seconds up the road with 2 laps to go. He needs to get a 5-second gap if he wants to hold this win over Hunter McElroy. Getting another update from Steve Wittick saying that he spun in turn number 5. I didn't see that. So the issue was okay, so the issue here, this is getting big. Where are we here on the lead for Rasmussen? Across the line. Let's have it here for the final circuit. So Steve Wittick from Trackside Online, give me the update. I missed it when I was watching live timing. He spun in turn number 5. That was the 8-second loss. 3.5 seconds back right now. A 5-second post-race penalty coming for Rasmussen for defending the move in reaction to a pass attempt. Right now, Hunter McElroy could grab a victory here. 3.5 seconds. McElroy up on the wheel. He was 0.3 quicker last time by. He's got to win by 5 seconds. I don't think he's going to get it done. It's 3.5 seconds here. McElroy turns one of his best laps, a 1:17.146. So a spin that cost him 8 seconds in turn number 5 and a post-race penalty that's coming for Christian Rasmussen. He may not get this win. Hunter McElroy could get moved for his second career Indy Pro 2000 race win. Down the back straightaway they come. I just don't think McElroy's going to have to make a mistake here. He just needs to put in a good low 117 lap, and he's going to be fine. Out of the final corner, checker flag going to fly. Rasmussen does not have his hand in the air at all because I think he knows it's coming. McElroy across the line. He's pumping his fist. McElroy's going to win. What a turn of events for Indy Pro 2000. And McElroy turns his fastest lap of the race on the last lap, a 1:17.101. The margin of victory, 3.5 seconds. So the big lead that Rasmussen had that would have negated the 5-second penalty goes awry as he has an issue in turn number 5 and a spin. Unbelievable. The storyline for Indy Pro 2000. Rasmussen trying to win from pole. We still have our 5th different winner. And check this out. Luckily, by 0.9 of a second, Rasmussen holding off Artem Petrov. He literally could have dropped to 3rd. Hunter McElroy is going to get the win. Christian Rasmussen in 2nd. Artem Petrov 3rd. Braden Eves in 4th spot. Jacob Abel in 5th. 6th, Wyatt Prokacek. 7th, Colin Kaminski. 8th, Manuel Suleiman. 9th, Anam Ahmed, again working his way forward. And 10th, Enzo Fittipaldi. So the championship now, 51 points for Braden Eves. He is the championship leader, leaving, unofficially, of course, leaving Barber Motorsports Park. His teammate Artem Petrov behind by 4 markers. McElroy just 2 points behind Petrov and 6 now behind Eves. Rasmussen moves to 37 points, so he'll still be, I believe, indeed, in P4 in the points. But that's going to be a tough pill to swallow for Christian Rasmussen, no doubt about it. McElroy, though, with the win. Rasmussen 2nd, Petrov 3rd. Braden Eves, your new point leader, in the 4th spot. And Jacob Abel, tremendous run, holding off Wyatt Prokacek and Colin Kaminski for that entire run. Rick, I'm done. I'm going to head down to Victory Lane, Tatis Victory Lane, as Hunter McElroy is going to get awarded his 2nd career Indy Pro 2000 victory.
Wow, that was exciting. And Rob, staying on top of the action, as he always does, that and keeping us informed as to what was happening. What a race. Congratulations. And at the same time, you got to feel bad for Christian Rasmussen because, hey, that he was doing it. And as Rob pointed out, he turned the fastest lap of the race on his last lap. And so he has it. I can't help but feel a little bit of angst for the guy. But hey, that doesn't take away from what Hunter McElroy really did. He drove the wheels off that car, and congratulations, Hunter.
I mean, to get P1 in race 2 here at Barber Motorsport Park, it's a really good way to start the season. Yesterday was a little tough. We got a 6th place battling with a broken front wing, so salvage as much points as I can. And then today, obviously, I finished 2nd on the road, but Christian threw a pretty big block on me, and then obviously he got a penalty. So I'll take it. You know, to get P1, it's awesome. You know, I love winning. It's why we do it. And, you know, to get a win here, I think it's great momentum for the rest of the championship and a perfect way to start the year. So we're going to St. Pete next week. I obviously won there last year, so I know I have a strong package. And yeah, I can't wait to get stuck in and hopefully get some more W's.